All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1.
Hockey Hall of Fame, Shazot Glass. Woo, woo! Good afternoon, good morning, good middle of the day, good day in general. I'm Josh Jacko. This is This Week in Sports, and I was teasing on last episode, kind of talking a little bit about my trip 2 years ago to Vancouver to go to Seattle to watch the Jays play. Seeing as how I just recently came back from Toronto to watch the Jays play. And the last time I went and seen them was when I went to Seattle in 2019. And my whole reason of going to Vancouver, I go to Vancouver every summer. It's like a tradition. Ever since I first went in, I think, 2014. It was 2014, went to Squamish Music Festival, had a killer time, such an amazing time. I felt like a tourist in my own country. Ever since then, I've been like addicted to traveling, and I made it a yearly thing to go to Vancouver every year. So I did that, in 2019 in August, and I centered it around going to see the Blue Jays play in Seattle, and that's kind of a thing a lot of Blue Jays fans do in Vancouver in the Lower Mainland is they go down to Seattle every trip the Blue Jays take there, and there's like 50-50 Blue Jays fans to Seattle fans, sometimes more. Yeah, it's awesome. It feels like a home game, like a home away from home for the Jays, which is awesome because not too many teams can say that. And so we went down there. My plan was to after my 11-hour delay in the freaking airport, could have drove down there. My plan was to take a bus from Vancouver down to Seattle, and then the day before, I go to buy the bus ticket. They're all completely sold out. My God, shit. My God, now how am I go to my cousin Morgan, who I stay with often when I go down to Vancouver. Like, hey, cuz, would you maybe want to drive me down to Seattle? I'll pay for all your gas. I'll pay for, your accommodations. And she was kind of hinting at wanting to go a little bit before then. And then I told her, like, yeah, like the buses are sold out. Like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get down there, but I'll pay for your gas. No problem. Right. So I was planning on paying for the bus anyway. So, she's like, okay, after like a little bit of contemplation, she's like, all right. I'm like, yes, no way. So we finally, and it's better because she like drives, right? So I wouldn't have to like cab or whatever around, like Uber around, which was actually a blessing in disguise because where I stayed in Seattle was like North Seattle, like pretty far north. It wasn't even like in the the technical city of Seattle, I guess. Like it's like a suburb, and so it was it was perfect that she was that bus was sold out, and then she was willing to drive me. And we had an amazing time going down there. I remember was it going into no, it was coming out of the country. Because weed was legal down there as well. So we bought some weed down there and whatnot. But that's later in the story. Anyway, so she drives me down there. My whole plan is to go to the Airbnb and kind of I thought it'd be cool if we tossed a couple extra bucks. But this woman who owned the house was kind of a Karen. So she was like, in her defense, it was unexpected that I was showing up with a guest because I said it was only going to be one person. But I was like, yeah, well, she's my cousin. She's my only way down here, right? I was supposed to take a bus, blah, blah, blah. Told her the story, and she was the woman who owned the house reluctantly said, okay, I'll just give me an extra like $20 or some shit a night. Like it was like a room in the house, right? And it was only like, I don't know, $50 or something, $60 a night or something like that. So she was cool like that. Gave her some extra cash. And then we went to the game. Went to 2 games down there, and it was a good thing that I went to the first game the night before because it helped me in game 2 sneak back in. And the reason
knew your way around.
I kind of knew my way around, and we like explored the shit out of Safeco Field. They call it something else now, Petco Park or some weird shit. But it's Safeco Field all my life growing up. And the first game was at night, and we kind of explored the ballpark. Me and cousin Morgan got like a view from every pretty much every part of the ballpark. It was great. It was such a good time. The only shitty part is we lost the first game. But we got to see pretty much all the ballpark, and went to the smoke pit a few times because we had some joints and whatnot, right? Because it's all legal. We're smoking joints in the smoke pit and shit. Like it's all good down in Washington, right?
Yeah.
So I had a good time. Then went back to the crib after the game, and then for game 2, my whole purpose, or not, like one of the main purposes and my main goals of going to these games was to get a ball, like from batting practice. Well, preferably from a game, but it's damn near impossible to get a ball from the game, right? So I wanted to get one in batting practice, and I was watching this dude on YouTube who like specializes in doing like getting balls from games and shit.
Yeah.
And seen a lot of tips and whatnot. So I got there super early for batting practice, and balls were flying out of the park. The Jays were up, taking BP, and then one comes flying my way, hits like the row right in front of me, and I go to scoop it up, but then I see the couple kids gonna come grab it, right? I'm like,
Right.
all right, kids can have it, right? Kids can have it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'll get another one. I was like, I was having faith, like,
Yeah.
I had faith that another one was gonna come my way. So I'm waiting, more balls are kind of coming up my way, and then one comes and it lands on the warning track, and one of the coaches out there picks it up, like tosses it up into the stands, and it like bounces off the seat kind of in front of me. And then I go up this way and I snag it, and I was like a little kid, like I was like, woo, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
fucking right. Took a picture of it and all. I still have the ball, and so goal number 1 accomplished. But even actually getting into the stadium, I should have mentioned this because this was actually huge. And I don't know if I should put down all my secrets on how I did it on the mic here, because it was really, really pro. I was able to bring in like basically a full water bottle, like a 750 milliliter, like a 2.6 water bottle of vodka. I was able to bring it into the stadium, with a little bit of slyness, I'll say, and a lot of thought, and yeah, like I said, I was slick about it. I don't want to give away too many details, right? Because people will be doing it, and people might be the 4 listeners that we have might fucking spill the beans for me.
Well, and ruin it for us.
Exactly. Right? No, but I did it really, really well, with like misdirection and whatnot, and so I was able to bring in this whole thing of vodka. But during batting practice, I wasn't drinking much of it. But when the game started, shit, was I drinking that, right? And so game starts, I go sit down in right field in the first row because no one was sitting there. It was kind of sparsely seated in the right field stands, behind the right fielder. And this part's important. It was Players Weekend, so that means that the players can put nicknames on their jerseys instead of their name, and they can like wear different kind of shoes, and the team colors don't have to be perfect and whatnot. So the right fielder, Malik Smith, for the Seattle Mariners, made the mistake of using his nickname Water on his jersey, and holy shit, I did not let this guy hear the end of it. Every like 10 seconds, water, as loud as I could at the top of my lungs, non-stop whenever he was on the field, because I was right behind him, right? I made sure this motherfucker heard me, right? Water. And I had met this dude. Actually, yeah, me and cousin Morgan met this couple, and I was chilling with the guy, right, while Morgan and the chick were doing their own thing. And he's a huge baseball fan, huge sports fan like me. And actually, coincidentally, I ended up seeing him like a year later at Oilers game at Rogers Place. He's a Vancouver Canucks fan.
Across the continent.
Yeah, different country.
Yeah.
I seen him in Edmonton, and he recognized my voice. He was in the pisser. He recognized me talking because I was talking to somebody going into the pisser, and he's like, "Hey," looks over to me. I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm pretty sure his name's Bradley. I'm not good with names. I got him on Facebook. I'm like, "No fucking way!" Like, what are the chances we see each other at a sporting event in a different country, different sport, right? It was crazy. Anyways, he was sitting with me, and he was like chanting water to everything. He was like, we were switching it up. We're like going H2O, Gatorade, just let him hear, right? And for like the first like, I don't know, couple innings, few innings, everyone was laughing. Everyone around us was, entertained by it, right? Then you go to like the fifth, sixth inning. I'm still not done. I don't give a fuck, man.
And what's the score?
Blue Jays are winning. Blue Jays are cranking.
Yeah, there you go. There's the difference.
Yeah,
There's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Jays are cranking a couple home run, like no doubters out of the park and shit. Seen Bo Bichette hit a homer. I'm pretty sure Teo hit one that game.
And you guys are rocking the Jays merch.
And we're rocking the Jays merch, and we're drinking my water,
right?
Which is vodka, right?
Yeah.
Front row, we're like, it's ironic, right? Because we're drinking this water, and we're just yelling out, "Water!"
Man, those guys really like that water.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. I know the people that were sitting a little closer to us, they were kind of getting it a little bit.
They
right?
knew. Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, everyone was like, they found it entertaining for first 4.5 innings, and then the fifth rolls around. You're starting to hear some more beaks from the Mariners fans, like "Shut up,"
Yeah.
We're getting a little more tipsy, so we're just going off. Water, like as loud as we can, right? I'm like beginning to lose my voice, and like I think it was like the seventh inning comes around, and I think at this point, my homeboy, he went to the bathroom, went to get a drink or some shit, right? And security came down, and they first started. They asked for my tickets, my ticket initially, and I was sitting in the wrong seats, right? So I knew that. And I was like, just give me a second. I'm trying to watch the game, right? And I was trying to play it off like kind of cool or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they called like the higher security or like the cops down, and they're like, you got to come with us, right? So I figure that either Malik Smith Water complained, or enough fans around me complained, about it. But I don't know if I would have got kicked out if the fans complained. Maybe the player complained, which would be the best case scenario. Because I guarantee when that guy's taking a shower for the next fucking like week after, it was in his brain, because it was stuck in my brain like for like the next week when I'm taking a shower or drinking anything, right? Because I said it was just like implanted in my brain. I said it so many times, yelled it so many times. Anyway, so the cops tried to escort me out, and I'm trying.
Just you.
Yeah, well, my buddy wasn't with me at the time. He was getting a drink or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm taking my time, like they're kind of just walking me out. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go take a piss, guys. Just give me a second. Right? They're like, nope. So they kind of like grab me by the arms, right? I like put my shoulder stiff, and I felt like a fucking rock star. Like I wasn't being belligerent or anything, right?
Yeah.
I was just trying to take my time, and I felt like a rock star because people were like taking videos of me, and I'm kind of like pointing at them and shit, like smiling and shit, while the cops are just kind of like sort of like carrying me by the arm, by the like elbows out.
Yeah.
And so they tossed me out, and I'm like, shit, standing out there on the corner, game's still going on. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, fuck this. The whole reason I came here was for these games, and I already got a ball. I just yelling water, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting back into this bitch, right? So this is where the first game experience helped. I walked around the entire perimeter of the stadium, until I found where the smoke pit was, and I kind of just like waited around, like kind of in the distance a little bit, seeing if like any security was there or anything, and then I waited till the right time, kind of seeing what the security's patterns, right? Just waited like a few minutes, and then fucking walk up to the gate, kind of just move the gate over, like one of those gates, like they had like fences that were kind of you can move it or whatever, right?
Right.
And I moved it, I got right back in and walked right back in, boom, shit, back in, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And I still had some water in my backpack too, the ironic thing. So I snuck fucking vodka into this bitch twice.
Nice.
And so I go down to the same section. Or I kind of just keep my distance for like the last like inning. Like it was like the 8th inning by that point, and I waited till the 9th inning. And I go back down to that same section, right? Right behind Malik Smith.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Water.
No, you didn't.
Yo, everyone looks up. They're like, "Oh my god, how'd this guy get back in? No way. And then my buddy was there. He actually seen me too.
Yeah.
He'll never forget it either. He's like, you're a magician. How the fuck did you just get escorted by the cops out of here
Yeah.
and come back in here? 'Cause I think
So
he might have seen
good.
me when I was getting kicked out, right?
Yeah.
He was up by the bar or whatever. And and no, everyone couldn't believe. Everyone, like, a bunch of people were laughing, right? A bunch of motherfuckers were like, "Oh my god, this guy got me! This guy again, the water guy."
Yeah.
And and then to end it, freaking, I'm leaving. Like, the game's over, right? We won, and I'm exiting, and I see one of the cops at the top there that kicked me out.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Man, hey man, I'm leaving. It's all good." He's like, so he's kind of walking with me out, and he's like, "You're lucky my partner's not with me. You might probably arrest you." I'm like, "Come on, man. I'm Canadian. Like, I was yelling water. Like, come on. I know it's true. Technically, you could call it trespassing, but come on, you kicked me out for yelling water, right?"
Yeah.
So he was pretty cool about it, right? He understood, like, I wasn't being belligerent or anything, right?
Yeah.
And so he was cool about it. And so, right, like, as I'm leaving the gates, I'm like, "Thanks, man. Thanks, cop. Being pretty chill about it, man, because I mean no harm, right? Like, I'm a Canadian, came down here to watch the Jays,
Yeah.
right? And I got on fucking Malik Smith's nerves. The funny thing about Malik Smith now is he in one of my video games from last year, I got him on my team, and he's, which is ironic.
Yeah.
And then, which is even more ironic, I looked up like what he's doing now. He's in the Blue Jays farm system now. He's in like AAA for the Blue Jays.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like everything comes all full circle.
Yeah.
And if I ever see him play again, I'm gonna be yelling water at him, and
he'll know.
He'll fucking know. Yeah, he'll know. And then, so the cherry on top that night after I leave the stadium is me and my cousin Morgan got separated. Obviously, I got fucking kicked out and shit. I don't think she even knew. And so I'm trying to text her that I could only use Wi-Fi, I think, or whatever. So it's kind of sketchy. I had to go to like different bars downtown, which was fine. Like, I was checking out different spots. And then I was getting kind of hungry, so I'm walking down to one of their Jasper Ave or whatever, I guess their equivalent, downtown, and this bar that I walk by has live music, so it catches my ear, catches my eye. I'm like, "Oh shit, I want to go in here and check it out." Right?
Nice.
Sit at the bar, nice venue. They have a full band playing and everything. Sit at the bar, get some sloppy joes, get some food in me, and just chilling out, having a couple drinks, trying to see where the fuck my cousin's at. And I take one more lap around the bar, just before I dip. Because I was just thinking, like, how did I get back to the Airbnb that time? Morgan texts me, right? She's like, "I'm at this bar not too far, right?" So I'm okay. I'm gonna take one more lap. I take one more lap, and then I start talking to this other Blue Jays fan wearing another jersey, and we just get to talk. We were at the game. Yeah, I was at the game. A good game. Yeah, I was like, I got kicked out for yelling water and shit. And he's like, "You a big baseball fan?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Dude, I'm the biggest." He's like, "Look over there. That's the Jays coaching staff right there. The Jays pitching coach, the Jays hitting coach. They were at the bar having drinks, right?" I'm like, "No fucking way!" So I go up to Pete Walker, the pitching coach, and I just give him tell him straight up, like, off the heart. I'm like, "Yo, man, I don't mean to interrupt you, but thank you for doing what you're doing with the kids and with our pitchers. And I see you I watch you every day, and it means, on behalf of Canada, it means a lot." And I kind of said the same thing to Schneider, the hitting coach, and they were really humble about it. They were really, really cool about it, right? And so that was just like the cherry on top of the whole game, the whole day. Got there early, got a ball, got kicked out, snuck in vodka, got kicked out for yelling water, snuck back in with the vodka, and then met some of the Jays coaches at the end there, at the bar, just randomly. And then I meet up with my cousin Morgan at this other bar. She met this dude. They're having a good time. And long story short, the dude, I'm like, "Yo, I gotta get back to my Airbnb, right? Morgan's my ride." But I'm like, "Yo, if you," I was telling this dude that she was with, I'm like, if you pay my Uber back to the Airbnb, I'll let you show my cousin tonight, right?" And he's like, "No problem." Like, he was a cool guy. He was a really good guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I found my way back to the Airbnb, had a killer time, and that was the last game I went to before the Jays return here in Canada few weeks back, and fuck that's a story I'll never ever forget till the day I die. I doubt Malik Smith will ever forget till the day he dies. Some of those fans around me, my homeboy that I was chilling with, he'll never forget that. My cousin Morgan, she'll never forget. She wasn't even there. She stopped in for a bit when I was yelling water, but she was doing, she's not like a huge baseball fan or anything, so she was doing her own thing. And yeah, it was the story of water. Speaking of which, water. Like for like 2 hours straight. Imagine that, Caleb. Like, not when he was off the field. I never really did it. I'm more hyped at our right fielder, Randall Grichuk, right?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah, Randall, you're the man. Hype him up and shit. And but whenever Malik Smith was on out in the field, I was right behind him, yelling my fucking ass off. And he wouldn't even look our direction either. Like not even for a second. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? So funny.
Well, I know how loud of voices we got, right? So like,
yeah. Well, it was funny. Like I got my buddy Strickland to record the games so I could watch them when I got home. And there's some points where you could kind of hear me in the background.
It's crazy.
And my water, yeah. And I took a picture from his TV. You could actually, there's a couple shots where you can see me sitting in the front row there. Me and I was wearing red shorts, had the Blue Jays jersey on, sitting front row there. Fuck, it was a good time. It was a sunny day, and it's a beautiful, beautiful trip. Seattle's a beautiful city. Earlier in that day, we were like exploring kind of the harbor and shit, and the waterfront. Really beautiful. Really, it was super busy too because the Jays were in town, right? So there was a lot of Canadians down there, and it was just a really nice city. And yeah, Morgan was like sitting downtown having lunch. And I'm like, Morgan, I've got to get there for batting practice. I'm not waiting around for you. Like, I'm fucking leaving. So I kind of half ditched her, but she was meeting up with me anyways, right? So she had a good time. She had a good night, and all in all, it was just a great fucking trip. And what's also great about the Jays is they just won tonight in pretty dramatic fashion again. 2 of 3 so far against the White Sox. The second game in 3 games where we broke the tie in the 8th inning, 3-1 final tonight. It was 2-1 in the game 1. We seen it the other night. We watched the end of the game, and oh fuck, it was a fun game. We loaded the bases in the 8th inning. Alejandro Kirk with the clutch hit. They walked home another run to give us a 2-run lead. Jordan Romano with the save. But the story of the game is Robbie Ray. This guy he's going to be a Cy Young finalist, best pitcher in the league. He's got the most strikeouts in the league. He had 14 Ks tonight. 14 strikeouts tonight. Put on a fucking clinic. He has 192 strikeouts now. His 14 Ks in one game is the most by a left-handed Blue Jays pitcher in history. No other lefty has thrown that many strikeouts in a game. So, mad props, Robbie Ray. I hope you get a lot of consideration. I hope you win the Cy Young because you would deserve it. And the sad part of it is this past month, he hasn't got any run support. In his past 5 starts before tonight, he's only got 7 runs in those 5 starts. So it's hard to win when your team's not scoring, right? And but it's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Robbie Ray is our best pitcher this year. He's one of our best. He's like top 3 best player of ours this year, and I love that he's out on our team, and I love that he's been pitching better than he's ever really pitched, more consistently ever in his career, because now he's always had the strikeout, but he's walked a lot of batters in the past. Now he's fucking just killing it. He's hitting the strike zone. he's confident, and he's having an amazing year so far. And hopefully, we have 37 games left after tonight. We got to go on. We still got to go on this tear. But what I said about a week ago, if we take 3 of 4 from the White Sox, which is a really good team, we stand a good chance. We stand a really fucking good chance. And we already won 2 or 3, so we just got to win tomorrow afternoon. And we're saying there's a chance. We're still alive. We're still alive with this win tonight. I think we're 5 back of the second wild card with 37 games to go. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Our hitters need to get back on what they were doing earlier in the year and just driving the ball and being more consistent and providing more to the team, because our starting pitching is doing well. And as long as the bullpen can hold it down in the next couple weeks, then I think we'll be all right, because we got Hyun-Jin Ryu, our ace. Though Robbie Ray is our best pitcher this year, Ryu is he's right there with him, and so we have a good chance tomorrow to take 3 or 4 from the Chicago White Sox, which are one of the better teams in the American League. In other big news too, I'm sure you heard, Caleb, the Oilers are going to require proof of vaccinations for the games this year.
Yeah.
Either that or a negative COVID test
In the last 24 hours.
in
Yeah.
It's 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
And that's parallel with a lot of other teams in Canada, especially. I know the Jets did it first. Montreal's doing it because all of Quebec's like kind of under that thing. And like these other teams are going to be soon to follow, I'm sure.
Yep.
So that's other NHL news. We're only I think it's 48 days till game opener.
That's
Almost.
nuts.
I am stoked.
Yeah. I am too. It's crazy how short of a period between
It is.
the finish of the season to the new season.
It is. Well, yeah. The NHL is a little has a quicker turnaround than a lot of these other sporting leagues.
Yeah.
And like COVID kind of fucked with it too, because last season was kind of pushed back a little bit.
Right.
So usually it's maybe like a couple more weeks longer, like the off season.
Yeah.
But I know that all like the majority of players are down and excited for this full season, because last season was not a full season, right?
So
this
are
will
we
be a
getting
full 82.
are we getting a preseason or?
Yeah, we'll get a full training camp this year. The whole thing, the whole
Okay.
thing. This, unlike last year. Last year there was no exhibition games, right?
Right.
And there was only 60 games, 62 games, something like that. And so this year will be a full 82 game season, training camp, exhibition games, all that, and that starts in early October. So before that happens, like I said on the last episode, I want to hopefully get Cam Moon on the podcast, and he's the Oilers play-by-play. So Oilers play-by-play guy, and get his take on what he thinks about the additions we've made this offseason, and the few pieces that we've lost, and see what he thinks about it, because he's really close with the team, and he knows what he's talking about. The Edmonton Elks in football news. We have I think there's nine players that are confirmed with COVID. So the whole team's in isolation. The game against the Argos that we were supposed to play, the Toronto Argonauts, got postponed. They haven't given news on the Labor Day Classic, because that's a big time thing for the CFL. That's against Calgary. There's no word on if that game will be played or not, but the upcoming game against the Argonauts has been postponed, and the rules in the CFL this year are the same as, pretty similar as the NFL. If one of the teams has an outbreak and there's like less than, I think it's like 85% of their players vaccinated, then they risk forfeiting the game. And if both teams have an outbreak, they both could forfeit the game. They both could get a loss for the game. And beyond that, the players who in the CFL don't get paid all that much to start with, they'll lose out on their game check. So the CFL is taking it pretty seriously with their players and their staff, as is the NFL, because the NFL policy is similar come in this upcoming season, which happens actually, I guess, in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Thursday, this NFL starts. So there'll be a lot more football talk on this here podcast, and it's almost the most wonderful time of the year when coming down the stretch in baseball. NHL starts. You got the NFL going on. CFL is getting later into the season. NBA is beginning. It's my favorite time. This time and springtime are my favorite times of the year for sports, because there's so much shit. There's so much shit going on, and I mean, as far as the NBA, the Raptors, I don't know. We lost Lowry, so this might be a rebuilding year, which is fine. We got a championship a couple years ago, so what are you gonna start complaining now? You can't be like a Lakers fan or one of these fans of these franchises where they just go out and just buy a bunch of players and win a championship with that. With that though, I just wanted to drop in, tell my little water story, because shit, that was funny, and I hinted at it last time, and it was also, that happened like 2 years ago, like to the day, pretty much. I think next week we're gonna do a segment. I've been wanting to do this segment for like a while, and it's just something quick, and it goes along with the theme. This week in sports history, right?
All right, yeah.
Yeah. I've been meaning to do it, but fuck, I just like I take notes on these other things and I forget about it when it comes down to it. But now that I mentioned it on here, I kind of got to do it now, and so we'll take your trip down memory lane, as I did today with my own week in sports history, going down to Seattle, yelling water 2 hours in a row. Got kicked out for it. Like, that's legendary shit. No one has ever done that in the history of sports. I guarantee it. Like, people got kicked out for yelling shit, obviously, but not water. I guarantee you that. So, Malik Smith, this one's for you.
You just needed some water.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, get this guy some fucking water. He's looking a little dry. Yeah,
I'm screaming for water. Someone help me.
Yeah. This guy's fucking thirsty.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm just like down in this fucking. The funny thing about this water bottle, it was like glass.
Yeah.
And it was a Corona. It was like a really nice water bottle. It was really nice. I ended up breaking it like a couple months later, but it's a really nice water bottle.
He doesn't need water. He's been drinking water the
whole
night.
Right, exactly. I know. There was so much irony in the whole experience. But yeah, thank you for listening to This Week in Sports. On behalf of my boy Caleb, I'm Josh Jacko, your host, and we'll check in on you next time. Thanks again.